What's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris Infinite, and with the Landfall update coming out on February 8th and fast approaching, I thought it would be good to get us all up to speed on all of the Soviet happenings that have happened so far in Generation Zero's timeline. The Soviet operations in Generation Zero so far have been kind of like shadow operations, so the information that we have about Soviet activities so far is kind of scant and far and few between, but we can piece together a number of these events, tie things together, and make some conclusions and draw some conclusions here. And as well, also, there are some theories moving on into Landfall that hopefully will be answered that we'll be able to bring up in this video here. So to give you dudes just a raw verbatim timeline of the Soviet events in Generation Zero, essentially what you have are the main game events, where you go through the main storyline and clear the airwaves in order to get in contact with a Russian operative named Sergei. Once you do get in contact with him, he gives you a device designed to shut down Phoenix, but when you go and plant the device, it turns out that it's not just designed to shut down Phoenix, it was designed to blow up the entire facility, including you inside of it. Or you were at least labeled as a necessary sacrifice in the operation. Another thing that we know is confirmed is somehow the Soviets have managed to procure machine technology, either before Cataclysm Day, the day that Phoenix basically took over, during Cataclysm Day, or shortly afterwards. In the beginning, the radio message that we receive from Sergei is garbled and impossible to decipher. On account of the proactive jamming of the signal from Phoenix, Phoenix is well aware of the Soviet presence here in the game.
Капитан, у нас есть контакт. Hello, this is Sergei Kuznetsov, Lieutenant of the Soviet Navy cruiser Druzhny. We may have limited contact, so please listen. The Soviet Navy has been monitoring the situation in Sweden, and together with NATO, we are offering assistance. We believe we have identified the source of the aggressor and can provide a device to disable the machines. We will deliver this device to the estate of Volnosted on the northern coast. Please proceed there immediately. More intel will be provided on site. Repeat, the jetty at the estate of Volnosted, west of Haga border. We will provide a device to...
Once the airwaves are cleared, we just head off to Alnestedt, pick up the bomb, and wrap up the main game there. But the question is moving on from this point, will Sergei be reappearing potentially here in the Landfall update? Or will he be a character saved for later on potentially as well? Will we get an answer to whether or not the Soviets were trying to kill us there? I'm very curious to find out, my dudes. Then our trail of the Soviets kind of runs dry up until we get to the point of Alpine unrest. Then, at some point during December, in the beginning of December, there is a Morse code transmission to a certain yellow reindeer. The Morse code transmission is final preparations underway, ground deployment on Swedish soil greenlit. Until then, stay safe. After that, the trail again runs dry until we get to the hatches in Phoenix Rising. In Phoenix Rising, we find a tattered note that is an old Morse code translation, again going towards that certain yellow reindeer. The Morse code is Operation Lynx is a go, pending final orders from Commander-in-Chief. Ground deployment on Swedish soil imminent, await further orders, Merry Christmas. Now, at this point in time, it's very hard to say what Operation Lynx is or who Yellow Reindeer is, but hopefully all of that will be answered soon with the Landfall update. For now, the working theory that I have is Operation Lynx has something to do with the machine that we've seen and the preparations for deploying on Swedish soil is something kind of separate but still maybe a part of Operation Lynx. It might have like two phases where the Soviets come through and set up a bunch of bases on the Swedish mainland, and then maybe the second phase would be bringing out the machine that we've seen in the latest trailer. And personally, I believe that Operation Lynx also has something to do with the crater, because the Soviet bases, from what we've seen, are kind of moving down the farmlands, in a way, so to speak, towards the crater. I could be wrong with that, but I really think the Reaper is something that the Soviets would like to get their hands on, especially if they're looking at kind of trying to enterprise on this opportunity and claim these machines of destruction for their own. As well, we have this Soviet soldier in a exosuit of some sort of a Soviet exosuit. And this is kind of outlying to a lot of the things, and the stuff that we're going to cover next is just like outlying information. So there is this dead Soviet soldier that you can find in the northern region of the farmlands, which shows that maybe potentially alongside the machine technology, the Soviets also managed to garner some of the exosuit technology, as we have two exosuits in the game. More than likely, the exosuit technology that they salvaged was related to the FOA exosuit, because the exosuit we see here and the FOA exosuit share a number of similarities. The next outlying thing in Generation Zero that could potentially be related to the Soviets is the side mission Prospect Tunnel. In this side mission, you find a soldier that has been executed with a single shot to the head. This is not the way the machines work. The machines do more of a scorched earth approach, and don't really care about making like one silent takedown assassination. So my theory has always kind of been that this assassination is potentially linked up to a Soviet mole or insurgent of some sort. And then lastly here, this guy, frickin' Frederick off at the ring fort. I don't know, man, I don't know. Fred here is sussy balls. There is something really suspect about this dude. I do not trust him. No, but on a real note, I actually have a little bit of grounding to this. Somehow, this guy was trained enough to go into the southern coast when literally nobody else could, except for us and Cal inside of an armored truck. So this dude managed to sneak through, like, all the machines, all of their advanced security, everything. All of the new Phoenix structures, all of that stuff. And that takes some serious training. Potentially training that you would not have received typically in the Swedish forces. And maybe would line up a little bit more to the training you would have if you were an insurgent on foreign soil. So there you go, my dudes, a summary of all of the Soviet happenings, a lot of the loose threads related to the Soviets, and some things that even predate the Soviets and are going like way back in Generation Zero's history here. So I'm very curious as to how much of this is going to be answered in the Landfall update, whether or not we're going to meet up with Sergei, whether or not we're going to find out whether, like, if Frederick is an, double agent, inside agent, the Soviet exosuit, the Soviet machines, and how they managed to get that stuff. I'm really, really, really excited for this update, my dudes. And hopefully you dudes are excited too. This is a smaller part of a bigger project that I'm working on, where I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of the entire plot of Generation Zero all the way up to the end of the Landfall update. So stay tuned for that in the near future, and if you haven't yet, maybe consider subscribing for literally everything Generation Zero here on my channel. But for now, my dudes, hopefully you all are stoked for this update next Tuesday, man. 5 days away, it's gonna go by in an absolute snap. But cheers, folks. Stay awesome. And I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.